Hi everyone. This is the continuation part of Microsoft Azure Fundamentals Part 5, the continuation part of Part 4. So let us move to the section. The first question. You have 50 virtual machines hosted on premises and 50 virtual machines hosted in Azure. The on-premises virtual machines and the Azure virtual machines connect to each other. Which type of cloud model is this? So the scenario is we have 50 virtual machines on premises side and 50 virtual machines in Azure side. So we have to connect to each other. So which type of model we use? A. Hybrid, B. Private, C. Public. So here the correct option we choose. What is the correct option we choose? So let us know what is this hybrid means. Hybrid cloud model involves integration of on-premises infrastructure with cloud-based resources. Private model means in this private model it involves resources that are dedicated to one organization. Public means public cloud model involves resources provided by third-party cloud services provided over the public network. So therefore, coming to this option, hybrid model is the correct answer for this scenario. Why means it has in this scenario the on-premises virtual machines and the virtual machines connect to each other, which aligns the characteristics of hybrid model. Next question. Your newly released mobile app using Azure storage is seeing a huge spike in user volume due to some special event around the globe. To meet the unexpected new user demand, what feature of pay-as-you-go storage will be most beneficial? Here the options are ability to provision and deploy new infrastructure quickly, ability to predict the service cost in advance, ability to meet the compliance requirements for data storage. The what is this ability to provision and deploy new infrastructure quickly? It means while this feature is advantageous in certain scenarios, such as scaling up to meet increased demand, it is not directly related to pay-as-you-go storage. Ability to predict the service cost in advance in terms of financial planning and budgeting in a situation where there is a sudden spike in user value. The ability to predict cost in advance may not be as critical as the ability to dynamically scale to resource. Ability to meet compliance requirements for data storage means while compliance is an important consideration, especially for sensitive data, it is not directly related to the pay-as-you-go aspect of storage. Therefore, the most beneficial feature of the pay-as-you-go storage in this scenario is the ability to provision and deploy new infrastructure quickly. It is the best pay-as-you-go storage will be most beneficially, which allows you flexible scaling, enabling you to quickly provision additional storage resources to handle the sudden increase in your volume without over provisioning and incurring unnecessary cost. Next question. Your company plans to migrate all its data and resources to Azure. The company migration plan states that only platform as a service solution must be used in Azure. You need to deploy an Azure environment that meets the company migration plan. What should you create? A. Azure virtual machines, Azure SQL databases, Azure storage account, Azure app services, Azure virtual machines that have Microsoft SQL Server. C. Azure app services and Azure SQL databases. D. Azure storage accounts and web servers in Azure virtual machines. So here these are the some options which are included in this scenario. So what is this Azure virtual machines, Azure SQL databases and Azure storage account? This option includes infrastructure services like Azure virtual machines. So coming to option A, Azure virtual machines, Azure SQL databases and Azure storage account. This option include infrastructure as a service. Coming to option B, Azure App Service and Azure Virtual Machines that have Microsoft SQL Server installed. So it's similar to the option A. It also involves which are the infrastructure as a solutions. Coming to option C, Azure App Service and Azure SQL Database. Both are databases as a platform as a service solutions. Coming to option D, Azure Storage Account and Web Server in Azure Virtual Machines. This option includes storage accounts which are PaaS platform as a solutions. However, the deployment of web server in Azure Virtual Machine constitutes the use of infrastructure as a service. So this is also not predicted. So therefore, the correct answer is Azure App Service and Azure SQL databases are the platform as a services, which are best resource to create the uh, de- demanding on the based on the scenario. Next question. What is a customer provide in a software as a service model? In software as a service model, the customer what should be provided? A. Application data. B. Data storage. C. Compute resources. D. Application software. So coming to application data, in a software as a service model, the customer typically provides a application data which refers to the specific information. Next, data storage. In this model, data storage is typically managed by the software as a service provider as a part of a service. Customer may input and interact with the data within the software as a application. Compute resources. In software as a model, the software as a service provider is responsible for provisioning and managing the necessary compute resources to run the applications. Application software. In this software as a service model, customers do not provide the application software itself. Instead, they access and use the application software provided by the software as a service provider over the network. So, therefore, the correct answer is application. By seeing these options, the correct answer is application data. Why it means? So here this could be include generated data, configuration setting, preference and any other data relevant to the operation of the software as a service application. However, the customer provides the underlying application software itself. Next question. You have a public load balancer that balances port 80 and 443 across three virtual machines. You need to direct all the remote desktop protocol connections to virtual machine 3 only. What should you configure? So we have a load balancer. Publicly, it has a load balancer, port as a 80 and 443. You need to direct the all remote remote desktop protocol connections to virtual machine only. So here the options are an inbound NAT rule, load balancing rule, new public load balancer for virtual machine 3, front-end IP configuration. So what is this inbound NAT rule? What is this NAT means? Network address translation. So it is configuration and inbound NAT rule. You can redirect remote desktop protocol connection to a specific virtual machines. In this case, virtual machine 3. Load balancing rule means it is typically used to distribute traffic across multiple backend resources such as virtual machines based on certain criteria like route robin, list connection, etc. New public load balancer for virtual machines 3 is while creating a public load balancer especially for virtual machine 3, it is an RTA necessary for achieving the goal of directing all RTP connections to virtual machine 3. Front-end IP configuration means it is used to define the public IP address setting for a load balancer. So therefore the correct answer is an inbound NAT rule which we should configure. Next question. You plan to back up an Azure virtual machine named Virtual Machine 1. You discover that backup pre-check status display a status of warning. What is possible cause of the warning status? So we have backup the virtual machine. It will display when we backupping. It will display a status. What type of status is it will be display? We should know. They have given some options here. Virtual Machine 1 is stopped. Virtual Machine 1 does not have the latest version of WAP agent.exe installed. Virtual Machine 1 has an unmanaged disk D. A required services vault is unavailable. So here the why it is Virtual Machine 1 is stopped. It can affect backup operations. It typically results in different status rather than warning during the backup pre-check. VM does not have a latest version of WAP agent exe installed. It is a possible cause of warning status, the backup recheck. It is also known as Azure VM agent is responsible for several tasks related to the virtual mission management, including backup operations. VM1 has an unmanaged disk. It could be potentially affect the backup process, but it is not unlikely to be direct cause of warning status during the backup pre-check. Recovery service vault is unavailable. It would be like result in a different error message rather than warning status during the backup pre-check. So therefore the correct answer is VM does not have a latest version of WAP agent.exe installed. Option B is the correct answer. Next question. You create an Azure storage account named Consto Storage. You plan to create a file shared named data. User need to map a drive to the data file share from home computers that run Windows 10. Which outbound port should you open between the home computers and data file share? So to share the file, which outbound port we should use. Here the options are 80, 443, 445, 3389. So, from home computers, we have a map drive to share the data files from home computers that run Windows 10. So, from Azure account to we should share the files to the home computers, which port we should use. So, let us know what are these port numbers. So here port 80. What is 80? It is used for HTTP traffic typically for web browsing. 443 means it is used for HTTP traffic which is encrypted by HTTP traffic commonly used for secure web browsing and communications. 445 means it is used between the home computers and the data file share. 3389 it is used to remote desktop protocol which is used for desktop access to computers. So therefore the correct answer is home computer to between the home computer and the data file share, which port we use, 445. Next question. You plan to use the Azure Import Export service to copy files to your storage account. Which two files should you create before you prepare the drives for the import job? So we have to import or export any service to copy files to a storage account. Copying a files to storage account, which two files should be shared? A. Drive set CSV file. A. B. JSON configuration file. C. PowerShell file. D. XML manifest file. E. Dataset CSV file. So what is the drive set CSV file? It specifies the drivers that will be sent for import export and their corresponding drive letters. Next, JSON. This dataset CSV, it contains the details of data imported and exported, including file paths. So we have two options which we have, two files which we could be share, import or export. So drive set CSV files and dataset CSV files. Next question. Which task can you perform by using Azure Advisor? So here are the options. Estimate the cost of Azure solution. Evaluate which on-premises resource can be migrated to Azure. Integrate Active Directory and Azure Active Directory. Confirm that Azure subscription security follows best practices. Here they have given some questions. So what is this correct answer is? Estimate the cost of Azure solution, which will Azure Advisor provides recommendation for cost optimization, including identification, potential cost saving opportunity. Next, evaluate which on-premises resource to migrate to Azure means. It is focused on providing recommendation for optimizing and improving existing Azure resource rather than evaluating on Azure on-premises resource for migration to Azure. Integrating Active Directory and Azure Active Directory means it does not specifically assist with integrating Active Directory and Azure Active Directory. Confirm that Azure subscription, its security follows best practices, is a cloud service in Azure that personalized recommendations sent based on the practices and the current state of Azure resources. So coming across these options, option A is the correct answer. Estimate the cost of Azure solution. Next question. Your company has an Azure environment that contains resources in several regions. A company policy states that the administrator must only be allowed to create additional Azure resources in a region in the country where their office is located. You need to create the Azure resource that must be used to meet the policy requirement. What should you create? A. Read only lock. B. Azure policy. C. Management group. D. Reservation. So here, what is this read-only lock means? In this, Azure prevent accidentally prevention or deletion or modification of Azure resource but do not enforce location based on restriction. Azure policy means it is a service in Azure that allows you create as a manage policy, enforce rules and effects on your resources. Management group, while it in Azure provide a way to manage access policy and compliances across the multiple subscriptions, they do not directly location-based restrictions for resource creation. Reservation means it is used to prepay for Azure resources like virtual machines, allowing you to save cost by committing to usage over a period of time. So therefore, the correct answer is Azure policy. Based on this scenario, Azure policy is the correct answer. In this scenario, you can create an Azure policy that restricts the administrator from creating additional Azure resources in region outside of the country where their office is located. This policy can be defined based on the region, ensuring compliances with the company policy. So these are the questions which we have frequently asked in Azure AZ-900. So please stay tuned this channel. Please subscribe, share and like it. Thank you. Thank you one and all.